Namaste. Jai Shivai. After, creating those videos of about Chitta Vrittis and different kinds of other details about Chitta Vrittis, a lot of people have asked me to create a video for, how many types of Chitta Vrittis could be there, or how to exactly remove the Chitta Vrittis. A lot of you have asked whether if I am doing Kriya Yoga, will that burn the Chitta Vrittis? If I am doing other Hatha Yoga, other Yoga Asanas, Pranayams, Tantra, Mantra, chanting, Japa, whatever. So will that burn the Chitta Vritti or not? So before we get into the details of the removal of it, we need to understand how many types of Chitta Vrittis are there and how they behave. Exactly, what's their behavior? Without understanding that, it's hard to understand the removal process of Chitta Vrittis. So, there are 5 types of Chitta Vrittis. 5 different types of Chitta Vrittis. First one is Abhinivesha. Okay? Or let's start from the top actually. So the first one is ignorance, Avidya. Okay? Avidya, ignorance, is usually of 3 types. Okay? 3 types of ignorance is there. Mistaking or confusing that which is temporary with that which is eternal. That's first type of ignorance. First type of avidya. Okay? Confusing the temporary with the eternal. Second type of ignorance is mistaking or confusing pain with pleasure. This is easy to understand, right? Pain with pleasure. So in other words, that which takes you towards moksha, okay, is considered, ideally should be considered as pleasurable for you. But that which puts you in the bondage, bandhana, is what becomes pleasurable for a lot of people. How? Why? See, no matter what happens to you, or no matter, how you live the life, ultimately body is going to be decayed. Old age will happen, body will start decaying, right? Slowly dying in bits and pieces. So body is not permanent. And then we go on creating relationships. Whole life people run after relationships. That is also there. Relationships are there till the time you have your body. So everything is tied to your body and is temporary. This whole sansara is temporary. But people live their life thinking as if that is eternal. That is never ending. That is everlasting. Right? A lot of people are mistaking that which is temporary with that which is eternal. What is eternal? Eternal is the Atma in you. Eternal is the Paramatma, divine, God. That is Brahma, Shiva. That is eternal. What else is eternal? The basic, the Prakriti is eternal. It's Nitya. So eternal means, and Prakriti means mixture of 3 gunas before it takes any form. Sattva, Rajas and Tamas, mixture of these 3 gunas before it has taken or manifested itself as a tree, as a human being, as a rock, as a mountain, as anything else. Okay? It's called Prakriti in its pure form. So, these 3 things are Sat, are eternal. But People think, okay, if I buy this house, this is going to last forever. If I do this, then this is for forever. If I go into marriage, that is, or in any relationship, that is going to be for forever. So these are some of the examples of how people confuse with with that which is temporary, and take that as to be eternal. So they will live the life the way they live. Next one is the considering pain or confusing pain with pleasure. So we know that overeating or going to eat, smoking, alcohol, wrong eating habits, wrong lifestyle, not taking care of doing any yoga, any exercise, whatever, is ultimately going to be detrimental for people's health. Right? Still, exercising is a pain. Exercising, doing yoga abhyas or exercising in some other way is very difficult for people, very painful for people. Give them popcorn and ask them to eat for like hours and hours, and they'll be very happy with that. So, that which gives overeating, people enjoy all kinds of overeating, right? And if you ask them to fast for a day or two, or maybe 9 days, 7 days, 15 days, if you ask them to fast, which is actually going to clean your system, that process is very, very painful in their head. It's a suffering, it's a torture in their head. Give them alcohol every day. How many people, after having stress, anxiety, fear, after having an attack of all these things, or while having attack of all these things, how many people actually try to remove the stress in a healthy way by doing pranayam or by starting yoga, changing lifestyle, changing eating habits and all those things? How many people actually relieve the stress in the right way? And you see how many relieve in the wrong way, right? Through smoking, through alcohol, and through all kinds of nonsense people can come up, and that's how they relieve their stress. So you see, that which results into pain, wrong lifestyle, all these things, all that results into pain. But still, how many people still enjoy that, find pleasure in that which is ultimately going to give them suffering? So this is another kind of ignorance. Third type of ignorance is mistaking the identities that one has created. That I am a woman, I am a mother, I am a teacher, I am a scientist, or I'm a BP patient, I am a diabetic patient, and I am this, I am that, I am whatnot. I am a seafood person, and I am a vegetarian, I am vegan, and all those identities that we go on creating. People live by those identities, the roles that they play in their life, the roles that they create for even any small purpose, according to their liking and dislikings. So they go on living by those things, and they think that living by those identities and stuff is the real self that is living. So mistaking or confusing Atman or real self with identities that have been created. That's the third type of ignorance. I am. That's an ignorance. I am this and that is further even downgraded ignorance. Okay? So mistaking, confusing Atman with ego-based identities. That's third type of ignorance. So Avidya is the first Chitta Vritti. Okay? Second Chitta Vritti is Asmita. Asmita is the I-ness in its pure form. When it exists through the Chitta, when it is reflected here in the Agya Chakra, then it is just I-ness. It's not even I am. Slowly, it becomes polluted and it becomes I am. And then it becomes, once you have a body and you start living, then 100 more heads appear of those identities. 100 more identities will appear. I am this, I am that. In any normal person, you will see so many identities playing from morning till evening. Now you may say, what is wrong about it? I am playing those roles. So I'll tell you in a minute what is wrong about it. Say, for example, there is a movie actor, okay? And today he's going to play the role of a thief in the movie. But in the evening when he comes home, does he still go on stealing stuff in his house and hiding from his family member? Because he's a thief. He's not able to put it down. He's not able to get out of the role that he was playing for few hours. This is the problem with all your identities. Your child may have been an adult by now and must have left the house, gone to live his life and whatever. But you are still so much obsessed with your parent identity, with your mother or father identity. And you leave no chance in interfering in their life, in your child's life, in your son or daughter's life, who are adult by now. You still don't stop interfering with that. This is what is wrong with identities. Okay? And there could be so many examples. Somebody is a CEO in a company. But when you come and talk to your father, and if you talk like you are CEO of your company and some company, and your father is giving you, smacking you left and right, he's telling you something. Suddenly your ego is very much hurt. How can he say those things? After all, I am a CEO of the company. Same thing is between husband and wife. Same thing is there with any relationship. Once you take up these identities, it's hard to put them down. They are provoked. Every now and then they are being invoked by the situations around you, by the environment around you. So this is what is wrong. So Asmita is the I-ness in its pure form. It's a Chitta Vritti. But it becomes even worse when so many identities are created in you. So identity creation starts with Asmita. Okay? That I-ness starts with, that's what Asmita is. So Asmita is the second Chitta Vritti. Third Chitta Vritti is Raga. Raga means attachment, pull towards something. Oh, I love this plant, I love this tree. How about we take it home? Raga has happened. Oh, he or she is so beautiful. I just love them right now. Instant love has happened. That's Raga. Oh, I love butter chicken. It's Raga. I'm a seafood person. I only eat seafood. It's Raga. Attachment, pull towards something. And then second one is Dvesha. Fourth Chitta Vritti. Third Chitta Vritti is Raga. Fourth Chitta Vritti is Dvesha. Aversion from something. No, I'm vegetarian. I can't even sit on the table where people are eating non-veg. That's aversion. It's not going in your mouth, right? They are eating. But you can't stand it. I feel nauseous. That kind of a behavior. I don't like these kind of people. I have allergy to this. I have allergy to that. Aversion. Aversion can play out. All these Chitta Vrittis can play out at multiple levels in you. At mental and emotional level, they can be there. At the ego level, they can be there. At buddhi, intellects level, they can play. And at physical body level, they can play. Allergy to anything is an aversion becoming physical in somebody. Right? So that is all aversion, push. So raga is the pull, dvesha is the push from something. That's how raga and dvesha are. Last one is very dangerous. Last Chitta Vritti is the worst kind of Chitta Vritti. It's called Abhinivesha. Abhinivesha means fear of change or loss. Fear of loss or change. Or we can say resistance to change and loss. So at first one may go into resistance towards something, and then finally it becomes fear. Right? And it could be for anything. Fear for this or that, but ultimately all fears and all resistance are actually tied to nothing but just the physical body. Nothing else. But they don't appear like that. How? Say for example, and this will also explain you how Chitta Vrittis are spread. How Chitta Vrittis is spread or function in your existence. Okay, so say for example, a person has Abhinivesha, fear or resistance towards change or loss. Okay, this kind of. Then let's see how mentally and emotionally it is going to play out. Well, they will be resistant to change themselves, change anything. Making plans for change, if anything that forces them. In other words, they will try to be safe and secure. So if they are in relationship, no matter how bad it is, they'll still stay there and will not take a leap outside it, because outside is unknown. It's fearful. So there is resistance in it. There's fear in it playing out. Such people go on creating security and safety nets of relationships around them. Such people may become anybody who has Abhinivesha infesting them. They may have identities like, security guard, defensive identity. The moment anybody says anything, I'm going to defend it till my last breath. So you see, defensive identity. They have created security guard kind of identity that they have created. Even if somebody is just saying something, expressing something, but it is taken as an offense. Overly emotional people, highly emotionally reactive people are always on the defense guard, safeguard, trying to figure out how to safeguard themselves from other people's words, other people's energy, other people's actions, other people's some mysterious plans. So Abhinivesha, fear, they may become highly the people who always save money and save things for future. Just the idea to live without job, even though they had a bank balance and they have assets, but just the idea of living without any job or without any certainty of income will scare them to death. It's very hard for them to understand all these things because Abhinivesha has infected their buddhi, their ego. Asmita have created lots of identities that are there, that are for the, safeguarding them in one way or the other. Emotional safeguard, physical safeguard, and financial security net. They just go on creating security nets here and there. So, and then sometimes if they still, despite all the efforts of having any kind of security net and all those things, if they still find something fearful, or if there is a plan to change something and a change is happening, suppose the organization is going through merger or acquisition or something and their job is in danger, then they'll go through anxiety attacks. They'll have insomnia for a few nights. They can't sleep. What will happen? What will happen? What will happen? What will happen to them? So anxiety is at physical level. No longer when you are facing anxiety attacks and your heart starts pumping, then it's a physical response to your mental fears. So at a lowest or the minimum level, we call it anxiety. At a highest level, we can call it the highest level when physical manifestation happens. Then at the highest level, it is called as schizophrenia. Where one goes on being scared from anything and everything. Physically scared. It becomes that bad. This is Abhinivesha. Abhinivesha, resistance to change or loss. Resist. Obviously, in life we are going to lose this and that. After some time, everybody loses their parents. Isn't it so? Parents may lose their child. This whole sansara is temporary. So how can you think everything is going to be for forever? How can you have make that kind of a mistake? So Abhinivesha at first infects or spreads into your emotions, then it becomes your thoughts, and finally your life choices and decisions starts being driven by Abhinivesha through fear. Lots of identities are created, so they all go on behaving and you have no damn idea what is going on. Slowly, panic attacks, anxiety attacks, high BP, and all kinds of physical problems start happening to such people. Paranoia, being paranoid, or schizophrenia. So at physical level, then it starts infecting. So now if you see that one vritti, the head of the vritti actually is in Chitta. But think of it as an octopus with hundreds and thousands of arms. And where are those arms? They have actually spread all the way into your physical body, into your mind and emotions, into your thoughts. It's everywhere. In your ego, in your buddhi, everywhere. So where all you will go on removing it? If you try to remove it physically, okay, so for today's anxiety, I did something, I did a pranayam or did something or took some tablet or to calm down myself because I was feeling suffocated because of panic attack or anxiety attack, right? So I took some tablet or inhaler or something like that. So I just made my body comfortable for some time. But very soon, maybe in few days or few hours, it's going to happen again. Because the head of Chitta Vritti is still in Chitta. Head of Chitta Vritti called Abhinivesha is still there in Chitta. You haven't killed that. You only go on cutting the arms. Now say for example, you have taken care of the Chitta Vritti at mental and emotional level. Through Gyan, through wisdom, from scriptures or gurus or something, you have taken care of the vritti at the emotional level, mental and emotional level today. So, and that too, for you, it's very circumstantial. So if somebody is saying, okay, we'll go to this country and we'll find a job there and we'll start working there, what's the problem? But you are very fearful and resistant towards that change, then what will happen? Today, somebody may be able to convince you for that and you still move there. But the Chitta Vritti of Abhinivesha is still there and it is still going to play out according to what you have in your head. because you are meditating upon it. All the time you are thinking of, what if this thing goes wrong? What if that thing goes wrong? What if I go to another country and I don't know the culture and the language and this and that? What if somebody kills me? What if somebody attacks me? What if I do not find any job? What if I run out of my money? What if my savings all are depleted and I am left with nothing? There is no way to keep on cutting the arms of Chitta Vrittis from the body, from the mind, from the emotion. It's like, I have asked you to kill the tree. Suppose I have asked you to kill the tree and you go on plucking its leaves, baking its branches. Well, it's an endless job. You can keep on doing it for next few lifetimes and it won't matter at all. It doesn't do anything at all. The idea was, the proper way was to cut the root of the tree. Isn't it? Cut the root of the tree. Cut the head of that damn octopus. Octopus-like thing that you have in your Chitta Vritti, that you have in your Chitta. So cut the root. Cut the head of the Chitta Vritti. Only then it will stop manifesting into your mind, emotions, buddhi, ego, physical body. In other words, your entire existence as you know it. Only then. And how to do it? Now, how to do it is a very complex question. Okay, but still I'm trying here to explain you how to do it, how to go about it. So, first thing to understand is that all these Chitta Vrittis are interrelated with each other. So actually, you are not cutting the head of one octopus. It's like Ravan, who has 10 heads. And you have to actually strike in such a way that all of them are dead. All 5 Chitta Vrittis are killed at once. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Let me explain you how. Let's talk about this Chitta Vritti, Abhinivesha, fear. Okay. So, how does fear, what is fear actually? When it comes to, why do you feel so resistant or so fearful towards doing anything in life, towards change? Why one is that way? Because they have raga with this body, a solid raga with this body, and dvesha with all that harms this body. Abhinivesha is nothing but raga, attachment with this body, and aversion from all that could harm the body. Could, not necessary. Nothing can harm you, nothing can give you a bad or wrong experience unless there is a karmic reason for it. You cannot save yourself from your karmic things. Okay? Every moment you are bound by the universal laws of karma. You cannot save yourself. So you can just hide. You can hide and you can play the game of hide and seek, but actually you can never save yourself. So the point here is Raga and Dvesha are also there. Abhinivesha means Raga and Dvesha are there at a very root level. Why are Raga and Dvesha there? Because Asmita has created all kinds of ego identities. Why in the first place Asmita, I-ness, thought of sprouting so many identities to save you? I'm a good financial planner and I'm a very safe player, that kind of an identity. You know? I believe in living at one place forever, permanently. That is Abhinivesha, and that's an identity talking in you. So why Asmita, I-ness created identities to save you from the world, from the karma, from unknown situation, from some unknown imaginative dangers. Why Asmita did that? Because of ignorance. Ignorance of which type? That which is temporary, thinking that, mistaking it, confusing it with that which is eternal. Thinking this body is going to last forever. That's why whole life becomes about body, right? Pain, pleasure, everything is of body. Nothing else. So much people are so sensitive towards physical pain and emotional pain and all kinds of pain and pleasure. So they go on saving all the efforts for that which is temporary. That ignorance has happened. So without removing that primary ignorance, you cannot remove Asmita, identities. You cannot remove Raga and Dvesha. You cannot remove Abhinivesha. So everything is interlinked. So in other words, you can say that the root of Chitta Vrittis is ignorance, is Avidya. That's the root. How to remove ignorance? With Jnana, with wisdom, isn't it? So many gurus and Vedic teachers and this teacher or that spiritual teacher, they go on teaching so much. Why? To remove that Chitta Vritti, the root Chitta Vritti, which is nothing but ignorance. Ignorance is the root Chitta Vritti. Because of that, Asmita happens. Because of that, Raga and Dvesha happens. Because of that, Abhinivesha happens. So Jnana. Now Jnana is not just something that you hear and you become Jnani. No. Wisdom is not. Wisdom will not happen to you. After all, so many gurus are, actually shouting their lungs out. Trying to explain people, give them Jnana. How many are actually understanding it? How many actually are listening it? You see, still the number of people who are on the path, very speedy path of suffering, by indulging themselves into samsara, the number of such people is way much higher in comparison to the number of people who are walking a spiritual journey. Why? Why such a difference between the number of people? Why out of 120, 50 people, hardly you will find 3-4 people. And out of those 3-4 also, only one is actually understanding what is being said. Why such a thing? Because Jnana cannot happen to you like that. Ignorance cannot be removed just by words. You have to make effort towards removing your ignorance or cutting the root of all the Chitta Vrittis. You have to make that effort. And what is that effort? Very good question now. Now we came to the point where we will discuss how to remove Chitta Vrittis. What removes Chitta Vrittis and what doesn't? Maharishi Patanjali is very, very clear about two things. Cutting the branches or leaves of the tree means is stopping the functions of Chitta Vritti is one thing. Another thing is burning the Chitta Vritti. Completely burning the seed of Chitta Vritti. That is another thing. And in between them is cutting the root of the Chitta Vritti. 3 different things have to be done. The existence of this tree of Chitta Vrittis has to completely go away. So what is needed to achieve these three things? All the Kriya Yoga, Hatha Yoga, Tantra, Mantra, Japa, Pranayama, Asan, Mudra, Dharna, Tratak, this, that, everything that you are doing is helping you do what? Helping you stop the functioning of existing Chitta Vrittis that you have. Stopping the function means if somebody has Abhinivesha or if somebody has way too much Raga and Dvesha, then by doing Kriya Yoga, Hatha Yoga, Pranayama and all those things, any kind of yoga, any kind of thing, it depends. Somebody may need that kind of asana and mudra. Some person may need different kind of hatha yoga and stuff, and somebody may need some other thing to stop the Chitta Vrittis from functioning. All five of these should stop function. Only when they stop function, that you will attain the state of dharana. Though you will become dharana. You will reach the state of fully concentrated mind. You cannot concentrate. You cannot become ekagra. Your mind will be plagued by 1,000 different thoughts. Your body will be highly impure and unstable. Your body will not allow you to sit. Your mind will be stable or one-pointed or, not one-pointed, ekagra, concentrated on something. You cannot do that. You cannot achieve that. So all these different techniques of yoga, different paths of yoga, this whole spiritual journey through any methodology, by any guru in this world, everything is trying to teach you one thing. To help you become ekagra. To calm down the function of the Chitta Vritti. The more you calm down the Chitta Vrittis, the function of Chitta Vrittis, the more you will be able to attain the state of Dhyana. You can call it meditation. I don't like to call it meditation because it's fundamentally wrong. I'll call it Dhyana. Okay? It's a wrong translation of Dhyana. Meditation is still a doing. But Dhyana is not a doing at all. Dhyana has to happen to you. You can only do dharana. Means you can focus your mind onto one thing that I am meditating. No other thought should happen for a very prolonged time. For days, months, years it should be that way. And then you will become dhyani. Another condition is your Chitta Vrittis needs to calm down. Stop functioning. If they are functioning, then they will consume you. If fear comes, you are consumed by it. If raga and dvesha happens, you are consumed by it. If your ego is doing all kinds of nonsense and tantrums, you are consumed by it. And obviously due to ignorance, you are the way you are. So all the Kriya Yoga, all the yogic methodologies are there to help you reach the state of Dhyana. Why Dhyana? Dhyana is the only time, is the only moment when the root of Chitta Vritti is being burnt, is being slashed, cut. In other words, becoming one-pointed, becoming very concentrated, ekagra, will help you stop the functioning of it. Stop the functioning of the Chitta Vrittis, all five of them. But it's dhyana, it's meditation, which will actually strike the root or the head of octopus or Ravan. In other words, dhyana is the only way to be in chitta. That's the only way to actually have access to Chitta directly. Rest of the time, if you're not in Dhyana, even if you are very much, concentrated, you are in Dharana, even at that time, you are either in the body or in your emotions or in your mind or somewhere else in your existence or in your energy. So you may be anywhere in your existence. Only in the state of dhyana, you are real you, are to be found nowhere in your existence. Instead, you have directly access to Chitta. See, until you are able to dig 1,000 kilometers, 100 meters or whatever meter of feet you need to dig to find the root and go all the way to the end of it, you cannot really pull out the Chitta Vritti. You cannot pull out the plant without first reaching all the way to the root, finding an access to the root. Now it's a chicken and egg situation. That's another thing that you need to understand. Chicken and egg situation, what came first kind of situation is, dhyana is not going to happen if there are substantial amount of Chitta Vrittis doing all the drama. Dhyana is not going to happen. But if dhyana doesn't happen, then Chitta Vrittis will go on doing their nonsense. Right? So that is why Patanjali very carefully said that by doing all kinds of yogic practices, tantra, mantra, yantra, whatever that is, hatha yoga, kriya yoga, this yoga, that yoga, the more you do it, the more your Chitta Vrittis stop functioning. And when they stop functioning, and you start becoming perfect and perfect and perfect in stopping their function, slowly they will lose hold on you and you will start becoming a dhyani. You will start going into dhyana, that which you call meditation. Meditation will happen to you because substantial amount of Chitta Vrittis have been stopped from functioning. Their root is still there in the Chitta, but they have stopped functioning. So when you are actually, the more you stay in dhyana, the more you are cutting the roots of all Chitta Vrittis. This is the second thing, cutting the root of Chitta Vrittis. But what about the fact? Because all these Chitta Vrittis have grown, they were not just roots, right? They didn't stay at the plant level, it's very small sprout level. They have actually created tons of fruits in the form of karma. All the Chitta Vrittis have created lots of fruits. And each of those fruit has seed in it of the same Chitta Vritti. Right? What about those seeds? Now that you are killing the root through dhyana, what about the seeds which have been dropped into your Chitta in the form of karmashay, karmic storage warehouse? What about those seeds? How to burn them? So when your dhyana state will become perfected and prolonged, and lots of roots and trees have been removed. So now Chitta looks like way much cleaner. Right? Then Samadhi happens. Sampragyat or Sabij Samadhi. The reason it is called as Sabij Samadhi or Sampragyat Samadhi or Savikalpa Samadhi. The reason it is called that way is because the roots have been gone, the plants have been removed, branches, leaves and all that garbage has been gone out because of dhyana state. Now just seeds are there. That's why it is called as Sabij Samadhi. Bija means seed. When all the seeds have been burnt. That's the start. That's enlightenment. That's Niruddha state. Fifth state of Chitta. That's when Nirvikalpa Samadhi, Nirbij Samadhi. Nir means without bija. Bij means seed. So Samadhi without seeds. Seeds of what? Seeds of Chitta Vrittis. So you see, when Patanjali said Ashtanga Yoga, when he created Ashtanga Yoga, Yam Niyam, Asan, Pranayama, Pratyahara. Okay, so Asan, Pranayama and Pratyahara, and then Dharna, 6 steps. All the yogic methodologies, your spiritual journey, whatever you want, whichever way you are walking it, whatever methodology you are implementing, all you are trying to do is calm down your existence for some time, stop the functioning of the Chitta Vrittis, so that you can become Dhyani. You can reach the state of Dhyana. And Dhyana is not something that it happened once in a year for 5 minutes to you. Then it's called Dhyana. No. Dhyana has to be continuous state in you. Dharana also is the same thing, which requires ekagra or concentrated chitta. It's also something like that. So it has to become continuous, prolonged state of months and years in dhyana. That's when roots are being cut. So, to remove Chitta Vrittis, we ask people to do yoga, pranayama and kriya yoga, hatha yoga, chant this mantra, chant that mantra, go for tantra related rituals and, do the bhut shuddhi, do bhut shuddhi means, in other words, people just make chakra balancing. I don't want to call it chakra balancing. It's called bhut shuddhi actually. So you go for bhut shuddhi. Bhut means elements. Panch tattva, 5 elements in you. Okay. Earth, water, air, fire, space. So, you go for different methodologies. Okay. We ask people to do such things so that the existing Chitta Vrittis stop functioning. Another very important purpose of this is to not create new Chitta Vrittis, not to strengthen the existing Chitta Vrittis. That is also the purpose of doing any kinds of yogic methodologies. Why? Say for example, I have Abhinivesha, fear or resistance. But if I am a yogi, then, and I am doing all kinds of yogic tapasya and this thing and that thing, all kinds of methodologies I am implementing. And then if a situation arises in my life which could have made me fearful or could have invoked the fear from me, or which could have made me resist the change that I am about to implement in my life or is about to happen in my life. Okay? If I am a yogi, that situation will not have any impact on me. This kind of impact on me. Where either I end up resisting it or I end up being fearful of it. It will not invoke. So, samsara, life situations, stop invoking your Chitta Vrittis, provoking them to function, poking them. It stops poking and provoking and invoking. your Chitta Vrittis. So no new Chitta Vritti is created. Basic 5 Chitta Vrittis, when they actually spread in your mind and emotions and your physical body and your ego as an identities, hundreds of identities in your buddhi and everything, and in your senses and all that, it actually becomes thousands of Chitta Vrittis. Just like one small seed, the plant may sprout and may have just one trunk, but then suddenly thousands of branches and leaves are there. It's exactly the same thing. So through yogic methodologies, existing Chitta Vrittis stop functioning and you stop creating new Chitta Vrittis. In other words, you stop making new karma. It stops you from doing any karma. All yogic methodologies, when done seriously, anybody who is doing, that's why we say, either you can walk the spiritual path or you can suffer all the karma and die. This amount of suffering is way much reduced. Is way much very less when you do yoga, pranayama or something. Yes, when you are doing speedy pranayama, your throat may start hurting, your back may hurt, your chest may start hurting. But that is way much less than when you are having a paranoid attack or panic attack or anxiety attack. You are suddenly suffocated in the middle of night and you wake up sweating. Right? It's a less suffering in comparison to this kind of suffering. Suffering your own karma. Suffering your own Chitta Vrittis. So this is the reason, this is how we go on removing Chitta Vrittis. Before you remove the Chitta Vrittis means before you cut the roots from Chitta, you have to stop their functions and you have to stop creating new ones or strengthening the existing ones. Suppose I am a person who has this very high, suppose due to lot of raga. So you see all these 5 Chitta Vrittis, they translate into different emotions. Ignorance lives in buddhi, is the highest form. In its highest form, it is in buddhi. And beyond buddhi, it's in the cosmic intelligence that we are ignorant of. Avidya. Asmita is also there in the I-ness. It's I-ness. And all your identities and all these things, they live in your ego. Okay. So you see, ignorance and all these Chitta Vrittis, they, live in different places in you. So they create identities in you. Right? So say for example, I have... and they translate into different emotions. Raga will translate into love, emotional love, and love, attachment, and a lot of liking, infatuation, and those kind of things. And aversion or Dvesha will translate into hatred, dislike, guilt, shame, and all those kind of emotions. So all the Chitta Vrittis are translated into different kinds of emotions. Abhinivesha is fear. So you see, suppose I am a person who has a very, very strong Chitta Vritti or Raga has translated into jealousy. Right? I love myself so much that I cannot see other people grow. So if I'm a jealous person and I love to be jealous and talk about it, then if I go in between such people, if there are people who are backbiting or talking bad about somebody, and if I go there and because I have jealousy within me, I also start joining them, then the Chitta Vritti of Raga is being strengthened. Now, this is for a normal person. This is how Chitta Vrittis are strengthened. And new sanskars are created. Yes. That's to stay on track for being jealous. if I start doing yoga, anybody who starts doing yoga, when they encounter such kind of a situation, suddenly there will be a light bulb that no, this is wrong. It's not that that person is really bad or that his progress or her progress is bad. It's me who is being very jealous. So, I'm not taking part in all this. Then you will not stay there. So that is how yogic things and yoga and spiritual stuff actually helps you not to strengthen your Chitta Vrittis, not to create new Chitta Vrittis. And it helps you stop making it function. And the more you can stop them function, the sooner and faster you will become a dhyani. The more you will stay in dhyana, the more you will be able to cut the roots of Chitta Vrittis. And when the more you are able to cut the roots of Chitta Vrittis and clean your Chitta, closer you are to Sabij Samadhi. And later on, Nirbij Samadhi. So that is how we remove Chitta Vrittis. And this is the type of Chitta Vrittis. I hope it explains you what you are doing and how you are going about it. Okay. Namaste. Jai Shivaya.